Hello and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. Today, Chris Zeller, Manager of Partner Success at Chargebee, is going to join us to showcase Chargebee. First of all, Chris, could you share a little bit about yourself for everyone who's listening in?
Thank you, Heather. Absolutely. I am an avid painter and woodworker. I love to spend my free time out in the wood shop or down in my studio crafting up some new paintings.
Fantastic, fantastic. And what do you have to share with us about Chargebee?
So everything that I've prepared for us today is in reference to how Chargebee can help empower merchants, and especially how that relates to accountants and what sort of items and features within Chargebee empower any of the accountant-based roles and work.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this. So the Australian accountants and bookkeepers, I'm sure will really benefit for understanding how Chargebee works and what it can do to help their client base.
Wonderful. Let's jump right into it. Hello, everyone. I'm here today to share with you a little bit about Chargebee. Brief synopsis about us. We provide a global subscription management platform that delivers fast time to value with exceptional service and support. It's our mission to empower businesses of all sizes to maximize their growth potential and revenue by adapting quickly and increasing customer loyalty. So how does that translate for you? And how does that fit in to your understanding of subscriptions? A lot of people's first impressions on Chargebee is, oh, it's a tool that'll help me manage all of my subscriptions, but it's actually not set up for that. It's more business to business. So it's a tool that merchants can use to not only manage the initial stages of a customer signing up for that merchant's service or products. It's also, once they've signed up, how do you engage with that merchant by email? How do you ensure that their credit card information stays up to date? How do you ensure that they're aware of your other services or products? So Chargebee goes beyond just the initial phase of getting people signed up for a subscription and actually manages the entire life cycle of a subscription within a merchant's tech stack. We'll be taking a deeper dive into each of these elements throughout the rest of this presentation. But before we jump in, let's talk a little bit more about example merchants that exist today. So razor subscriptions, pet food subscriptions, anything that you can think of that is a subscription-based solution provided directly to a customer, an end customer, is a fit for Chargebee, is something that Chargebee would empower, support, and accelerate in growth. As a very real-world example, there's a company called Superfoods that sells dietary supplements directly to consumers. They originally got their start on Amazon, but as part of their process of breaking away from Amazon and selling directly to a consumer without Amazon services, they used Chargebee to create a subscription service for those who sign up for their products and want their products on a routine basis. So you're welcome to check out the Superfoods story on our website. The link is here. And let's dive into the rest of the presentation now. So the Chargebee solution as a whole, we can cater to pure SaaS companies that are focused entirely on 3 or maybe 4, maybe even 5 different tiered programs. Something like Netflix would work very well with Chargebee. However, important to note, we do actually solve for over 480 plus different business use cases. So for example, something that's a little more complex, we could have something like a utility bill that would be managed entirely within Chargebee. So you could have a base access fee, you could have a metered fee of some sort based on usage. We could also include things like taxation. So when you think about Chargebee, don't just think about the subscriptions that most of us know. Think about all of the different use cases and different abilities or different merchant capacities to serve their customers and how Chargebee would actually be able to be custom tailored to fit those things. I'll have some more parameters on what we don't do well, but for now, keep an open mind towards what Chargebee can solve for. So How does Chargebee step in to a standard flow related to customers becoming or prospective customers becoming regular standard customers? So normally you would have a customer come in through web sales or maybe even through a reseller program. Eventually that lead would land itself within a CRM, and then hopefully to CPQ to be built out for an invoice for onboarding. And then from that point forward, as soon as the customer contracts, that customer ends up within the Chargebee space where we manage the subscription, we look at the billing and invoice, we also handle all those payments. Where this is relevant for you is as soon as Chargebee has managed those items and set up the account for that customer, we move that over into an AR where we have access into a general ledger for accounting and revenue recognition. So we talked a little bit about those 480 plus billing use cases. What are the specifics around that? Well, as I mentioned, pure SaaS is a great fit for us. In addition to anything that's a recurring service, what we like to do is the Eric Chan Challenge. Eric Chan is actually our director here at Partnerships, and one of his favorite methods for uncovering the value of Chargebee is to challenge anybody to come up with a business idea, an existing one, or one that you can create imaginary, and essentially talk about how Chargebee could be custom tailored to work for that solution. So keep this in mind. We also work very well with e-learning, with IoT. We do great with health and wellness. And of course, a lot of those programs are on subscription basis already. But we do offer a couple other things that we'll get to later in the slide deck. What we don't do well for right now is e-commerce. So this is something that we're currently building out and working on to allow for SKU-based products, SKU-based services to end customers. So that's the key differentiator here. If a merchant has a high number of e-commerce based SKUs, that can be very difficult for us to set up and manage. We're talking 30 to 40 plus SKUs where things get a little bit tricky for us. We can do anything below that fairly easily, and the amount of maintenance required to keep that up for a merchant is a little more challenging, but keep in mind, and we will try to keep you updated as much as possible, that we will be adding features and capabilities to manage true e-commerce in the future, just not right now. So what does Chargebee integrate with? Especially from an Australian perspective, here are some of the major logos associated first with CRM. You have HubSpot and Salesforce, direct integrations there that allow for things like customer data, the subscription data, all that transfers over directly to HubSpot and Salesforce. For ERPs or enterprise resource planning, we have QuickBooks and Xero are well fleshed out and easy to set up integrations. And last but not least, we have our payment gateways and payment service providers. You have Stripe, Braintree, BlueSnap, GoCardless, and many more, but many of those other payment service providers may not cater well to the Australian market. These are the ones that we see being the most popular with our Australian merchants. So what does our typical tech stack look like, and how does Chargebee fit in with that? So all these boxes that I'm going to be popping up on the screen are Chargebee core features. So things like pricing models, payment methods, and currency support, reporting through revenue recognition, deferred revenue, revenue storing, subscription management, localization, and analytics. So these are the core Chargebee features. And here's what we do. So we end up moving a lot of this over to CRM, things like Salesforce. We can set up alerts and notifications to things like Zendesk to keep customer success teams aware of what's happening with their merchants. We also have the capacity, of course, to integrate with Xero, QuickBooks. You can count on a lot of the data related to customers reaching finance, especially around the credits and debts that are related to individual customer records. And of course, payment processing. So what do we share with ERPs? We do share a lot, but I want to share the two elements that are consistent across the board in our share over to QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, and that would be the contacts and invoice details, the date, contact details, and time. We do offer different capacities to integrate beyond those base formats from the ERP to ERP. So for further details, I will be providing you with a way to reach out to us at Chargebee and find out more about a specific potential integration you'd like to have. So what is the setup process of Chargebee? Well, we offer a freemium service for any merchants that are looking to understand how to use Chargebee. So they can sign up for a service into Chargebee all the way up to 500,000 in total processing volume, annual total processing volume. So if somebody would like to try us out, they can. And as part of the training that we usually offer for our partners, we do encourage individuals to test out the Chargebee service and see what it's like. In that setup process itself, here are some very core focused setup milestones for anybody looking to utilize Chargebee. So we would first direct people to create their plans, right? Set up what you want to have offered to your end user. Then you would want to adjust and change some of the branding behind how it's presented to your customers. So things like invoice customization, a customer portal checkout. That is where we allow a merchant to address their end users with their own corporate identities. And through this, we would also have them set up the payment gateways and the checkout process. Once you have these core three features, the plan, the branding, and the checkout, you essentially are ready to rock and roll. Beyond there, you've got the integrations to set up, which are also easy, and I will be showing through a live demonstration what that looks like. And last but not least, we do encourage each of our merchants signing up with us to set up their emails, how they would set up email notifications. What would you want to notify a merchant or rather a customer about regarding an email? Maybe they're missing out on a credit card for their payment. Maybe you're looking to show off different parts of their plans. There are reporting features within Chargebee that would allow you to identify merchants that would be good fits for higher tiers of your service. So with that being said, let's jump into a live demonstration right now. So this is the Chargebee user interface that I'm looking at. You can note over here on the left-hand side, customers and subscriptions are the location that you'd go to manage any of your existing your existing customers. Invoices and credit notes would allow you to see any of your invoices that you've sent out or allow you to process an invoice for a specific customer. Your product catalog helps you manage all of your plans. Your logs would give you access to any of the information related to past invoices sent, a little bit of the data, but revenue story is a feature that is included with higher versions, higher paid plans of Chargebee. And then classic reports will allow for insights, such as what you see here. A lot of what you see here in this main dashboard is essentially visualizations of these reports. And then important for each of you to know, this is the section over here, third-party integrations. Of course, not to skip over configuring Chargebee, these are a lot of the smaller details that you might want to adjust around how you bill your merchants and what they see. But third-party integrations is where you would go to set up something like QuickBooks or Xero. These are very easy setup integrations. So for instance, with QuickBooks, it's as easy as selecting the QuickBooks icon here, opening it up, and then you'll notice right here a basic rundown of what is possible with QuickBooks. We'll sync over customers, products, invoice and credit notes, taxes, payments and refunds. And if you're ready to set up the sync, you'll click on Connect in the top right-hand corner. And this will take you directly to the Intuit QuickBooks login page where you'll enter your information. From here, the rest of the integration is set up through the Intuit side, and the information will report back and forth between Chargebee and QuickBooks once the integration is complete. So if we look at this for the next steps for you, we want you to be aware that if you'd like to learn more about Chargebee, we do have a partner portal where you can sign up to learn more about the actual Chargebee user interface, about the functionality. You can also use this email to query us for any questions. And with that, I'm going to wrap this presentation up. Thank you so much for joining me along the way. We're looking forward to working closely with you and hope that your experience with us is nothing but excellent.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for sharing all of that information on Chargebee. I know that since I started working with the Chargebee team, I'm a person who really is always trying to become more and more efficient in my own existence, in my business, in my work life, in my life, my work, etc. And I know that I've actually gone out looking for subscriptions. So from things like I've put the dog food on subscription. I've got coffee now coming on subscription. I have makeup or sort of beauty products coming on subscription. And it's funny because as a consumer, it actually saves you, for everyone that's coming, probably 40 minutes a month, in that you're not going out and getting it. So the benefits of going into sort of the subscription model on the business side make a lot of sense, and on the consumer side actually make a lot of sense. What's your favorite subscription?
So one of the new subscriptions that we've picked up during the pandemic, so it used to be that you'd go out here in the US, you could go to a escape room sort of event where you'd go and you'd have a few clues and you'd solve them, you do them together, but you can't do that during a pandemic, right? You can't get in a closed space with 6 people. So we found a service actually through Chargebee. They're a Chargebee customer that uses our tool called Hunt a Killer. And what they do is they send out every month, we get a box of different clues associated with a fictional murder mystery of some sort. So we'll have anywhere from 2 to 4 other people come over to our house in our bubble, our safe vaccinated bubble, and come and solve the mystery with us. We get one every single month, and it's been a huge highlight for our friend group. And there's a lot of group text message rally cries where we're getting excited to join each other and solve a new mystery. So that's one of our new favorite subscriptions.
That's fantastic. And it's a lovely way to connect with people and stay connected and actually be thinking differently, not thinking about sort of this terrible pandemic that's happening, and having that sort of that inspiring that sort of different conversation. I will take a look for that. So it was Hunt a Killer. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Hunt a
Killer. Sounds... Yep. It sounds awesome. It does feel like somewhat that we're in this giant escape room currently at the moment, this worldwide escape room. But anyhow.
Yes.
Now, how can people get in contact with you if they are interested in learning more about Chargebee and how it can benefit their clients?
It's a great question. So some of the main resources that we have directly here on the partnerships team will allow you to skip the front door, and you can come around to the side entrance and come directly into the kitchen. If you email partnerships@chargebee.com, we'd be glad to help connect you on your path forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's excellent. I really think that the unfortunate rollout of the pandemic has pushed a lot of people to digital, and I think that considering that additional income stream of opening up and being subscription-based can really is sort of that next level in that digital and that e-commerce space that we can really help our clients with. So thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate the knowledge that you have shared with us about your solution.
You're welcome, Heather. Take care.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye-bye.